SLU has a unique place in the legal community. I think it's important to recognize what a great job they do in educating lawyers and what a great job those lawyers then do to make our community better.
I appreciate this award program because every year hundreds of alumni get together and revisit why they came to SLU and what SLU did for them, and celebrate the impact that they're all having on the practice of law and on public policy and society. I think it's just a great celebration of what St. Louis University Law School is.
I always thought that one of the dangers was that we would be overlooking people that we shouldn't be overlooking. It's good to step back for a moment and reflect on the people who helped us and made us what we are.
If you just looked at Tim's CV, you would see a dozen reasons why he belongs in the Hall of Fame. But I think it's what's not in the resume that really explains why he belongs. He just loves it when his former students are in practice and succeeding and doing interesting things. It's what really lights him up. He gets awards, but nothing means more to him than the success of his students. And I think that makes him a very special law professor.
He's always willing to do, it's not merely what's asked of him, it's what has to be done without anybody asking. And he's a really good card player. To that extent, he can hide the ball when it's appropriate, when you're playing cards. And he can hide the ball from the students to pull out from the students. You know, when I think about the various pieces that we did to build the health law program, Tim played a major role in that.
If you were a basketball fan of St. Louis University in the 60s, he was the fastest point guard in the league. And then he came to St. Louis U Law School. He joined a small firm and within a short time was a leader of the firm. It's now known as Kylo Flynn, and has had a 50-year career doing outstanding legal work and as importantly, work in the community, and also has been very generous with St. Louis University and with the law school. He's the second youngest of 9 children of Syrian immigrants. They're from Damascus, and I think he really has that real empathy for people who come up in the world. When the Health Law Center was founded 40 years ago or so, John was one of the ones that was a donor to it. One of our other honorees tonight, Tim Granneman, was essential to its success and its national prominence. So we honor those who made us what we are.
Countess and I are friends. This institution is so great in forging relationships, and we forged a relationship that we'll each have forever. Countess is a fierce advocate, and from the first day I met her, not afraid to give you her opinion and not afraid to tell you where she stands. She's managing litigation and at heart still considers herself, I'm sure, to be a trial lawyer. She is generous to a fault. I can't tell you how many times and how many students she has mentored and would get angry with me if I mentioned to folks that what she was doing. Because what she does, she believes she needs to do. I can't think of anybody better to represent this law school.
Bruce is a great friend. He's the kind of friend that everybody wants and everybody needs. He gave back to the school and to other areas in the St. Louis community. Very unassuming, and he treats everybody exactly the same, whether they're a very important dignitary or somebody that he just met on the street. Has an open mind about things, but is able to argue his causes when he feels necessary. he stepped up and was very generous. And he always did that without any semblance of wanting recognition or anything. So I think this is a good thing to actually give him some recognition for all that he's done.
I think anyone can look at Tommy's career on paper, his resume, though I think more of it for the award is how deserving he is as a human in general. The crux of SLU's mission is to be of service to others and to be a genuinely good person, and he's really one of the best that I know. He also wants everyone else to be successful, and he really helps people to kind of find their own potential. Just knowing how his career has evolved and how he is with his colleagues and the students that he's had, knowing the relationships that he's formed and kept because he's so supportive of everyone. Tommy's charisma and his absolute just joy and magnetism makes people want to be in his orbit.
It was clear from the beginning that this man was very accomplished in his own profession. It was a delight to have him in class. He contributed so much from his own personal perspective and his professional perspective. So he was a great student. Not only has he led in pharmacy academia, but he's also spearheaded initiatives for non-exclusivity, diversity in the profession. He's made an impact on certain subject matters in pharmacy and law. So he's somebody that I've always watched from a distance, and am so, I hate to say proud because I didn't do anything, but so proud of what he's done and how well he represents St. Louis University Law School.
There are so many reasons that Erv deserves this honor. I could talk about his integrity, I could talk about his legal acumen, but as a triple Billiken, Erv is a man for others. What I admire about Erv is his selflessness. I mean, Erv is not someone who comes into a room and touts all his accomplishments, even though he could. He's not someone who comes into a room and tells everyone how smart he is, even though he could. Erv comes into a room, fits in with the people, and ultimately is prepared to help them. Erv is just a solid individual who I can't say enough about. One of the qualities that Erv has that I think distinguishes him is his integrity. The Tony La Russa fans in the audience will know that he loves Tied for First. Erv is tied for first in terms of his integrity. He's honest. Anytime I get an answer or a response from Erv, I know it's what's best for the enterprise, regardless of whether it's best for Erv. And I couldn't be more trusting of the advice I get from Erv. I mean, what makes Erv a great lawyer? There's several things. One, he's really smart. He's always prepared. He has good judgment. He has a great temperament. You don't see Erv get flustered. You don't see Erv get overly excited about something. His love of St. Louis University is well known and obvious. He wears his love for this university on his sleeve.
Judge Quigless is a public servant to her core. She spent the entirety of her 38-year career in public service. And I think that's extraordinary in and of itself because she could have gone anywhere. She could have wrote her own ticket into private practice or a law firm. But to Judge Quigless, public service was the end goal. And it was important when people walked into the courtroom, they were treated with dignity and respect and compassion. She has a really great judicial temperament. And I think Judge Quigless is also intellectually curious, and she always wants to dig into the issues and learn new areas of the law. So I think professionally, I just admire her perseverance. She always talked about how many applications she submitted to be a judge before she actually got appointed to the bench. And, she didn't give up. And I think that's admirable. Finding a balance that worked for her and her family was really great to see personally. I think she embodies the spirit of this award.